Welcome. Today we're going to talk about a really powerful framework for thinking about our three most valuable resources. You know what they are: our time, our health, and our wealth. And we're going to explore how the balance between them shifts dramatically throughout our lives.
So let's just jump right in with a pretty direct question. How much of your life is left to live? This comes from a simple but honestly profound exercise from the team at Confidence Financial Partners. And hey, if you've got a pen and paper handy, I'd say grab them, because what we're about to do might just change how you see things.
All right, if you've got that paper, just draw a straight line across it. On the far left, write a 0, and on the far right, 100. That line is your entire potential lifespan. Now, find your current age on that line and make a mark. Go ahead and circle everything from that mark all the way to the end. And look, if you don't think you'll live to 100, no problem. Just adjust that endpoint to whatever you feel is right. It's that circled part that we're going to focus on.
Now take a good, hard look at that area you just circled. That's it. That is the time you have left. You know, when you see it laid out like that, visually, the whole abstract idea of the future suddenly gets very, very real. It makes it crystal clear that our time is our most precious and definitely our most limited resource.
Okay, so keeping that amount of time in mind, how do our other big resources, our health and our wealth, fit into the picture? Well, this brings us to the main idea for today, the time, health, and wealth triangle. We're going to see how the shape of this triangle completely transforms over the course of our lives.
Let's start when we're young. Remember that? The triangle is totally lopsided. We have so much time it feels endless, and generally, our health is at its peak. But what's the one thing we're usually missing? Yep, wealth. We've got all the energy and all the time to do anything, but often not the money to actually do it.
Then we hit our mid-career years, and the triangle just flips. Now we're starting to build some real wealth, which is great. Our health is hopefully still in a good spot. But what's the scarce resource now? Time. It just gets eaten up by work, raising a family, and just the general busyness of life. Our free time is suddenly the most valuable thing we have.
And that brings us to early retirement. And this is fascinating because for maybe the first time in our entire lives, that triangle can actually become balanced, an equilateral triangle. We have the wealth we've saved, we finally get all our time back, and we still have the good health to enjoy both. This is that sweet spot, the moment so many of us work our whole lives for.
But here's the crucial point. That perfect balanced triangle, it doesn't last forever. See, retirement isn't just one long continuous phase. The advisors at Confidence break it down into 3 very distinct chapters. And understanding these chapters is absolutely key to making the most of that amazing but limited window of opportunity.
So what are they? First up are the go-go years. This is when you're active, traveling, doing all the things on your bucket list. Then come the slow-go years, when, your health might start to slow you down a bit. And finally, you have the no-go years, where life becomes much more centered around your home.
Now here's the insight that catches so many people off guard. That dream retirement, those active go-go years, they might only be a 10-year window. Let's say from about age 65 to 75. It's often so much shorter than we imagine, which makes how we choose to spend that time incredibly important.
This quote from the Confidence team just says it all. Your health is a depreciating asset. Spend it wisely. Think about that for a second. Unlike money that can grow, our health only depreciates over time. We have a finite amount of it, especially that good, active health. The real goal is to spend it wisely on what matters most, before it's gone.
So if we have the time, the health, and the wealth, what stops us from getting out there and doing things? A lot of times, it's a huge psychological hurdle. I mean, after a lifetime of saving, it can be really hard to flip that switch and start spending. It creates this kind of future fog that makes it hard to see the path forward.
Let's put a name to that feeling. Future fog is just that deep uncertainty. It's all the what-ifs that stop us from using our resources with confidence. You know the questions. Will the money last? Or what if something happens to my spouse? It creates this fog that makes it almost impossible to give ourselves permission to really live.
And this is the fundamental mental shift that has to happen. For 40, maybe 50 years, the goal was simple: accumulate money. Save it, invest it, watch it grow. But in retirement, the entire game changes. The goal is no longer accumulation, it's about deployment. It's about strategically using those resources to create experiences and memories. Because if you don't use it, you lose the opportunity.
This really leads us to redefine the whole point of having wealth in the first place. It's not about winning some competition to die with the biggest number in your bank account.
It's about using that wealth as a tool for something far more meaningful.
The confidence team puts it perfectly. The business of life is the accumulation of memories. That simple sentence just reframes everything. It's not about collecting dollars, it's about collecting positive, amazing life experiences.
So think about it this way. Your wealth is the fuel. Your time and your health are the engine. And the destination? It's creating memories with the people you love. The whole goal is to optimize the memories you create, because at the end of the day, that's the only thing you really get to keep.
And so that brings us to the final question, the one that ties this whole idea together. It challenges you to stop thinking about these things separately and see them as one system. So ask yourself, are you using your wealth to buy back your time? Are you using what you've built to truly maximize the precious time you have left?